Okay, let's continue with the last 10 questions, because in this third test we have 41. Daniela, you are the governor of the state of Cornland, and you are worried about the excess corn that will be produced this year. But in turn, you have the intuition that in the next few years there will be some bad harvest. Which is the name of the policy you should put in place? Paid in action? No. The paid in action, you are doing maybe the correct for this year, but you are doing nothing for the next years. Okay, the correct one should be price support. Yeah, because you keep that corn you buy, and if a bad harvest comes, you take it out to the market and you act as a supplier in order not to increase the price of corn so much with the bad harvest. Okay, so I think it's clear. 33rd, the demand for rice in France is given by the function q equal to 400 divided by p plus 10, so an hyperbolic demand, and the supply function is q equal to 2p. When a per unit tax of 5 is put in place, who bears more the tax incidence? Well, I told you before in previous video, I think, that who bears the tax incidence, the group with the more inelastic curve at the equilibrium. So let's calculate the equilibrium. Let's equalize, so the demand to supply, let's find P, and let's find also Q, and we will calculate the elasticity there. I know that we didn't practice this in class, but well, I think it's not complicated if you know the concept, and we will show here. Okay, now without tax, quantity demanded, quantity supplied, p plus 10 goes to the right, then we have 2p squared plus 20p, then 0 equal to, well, I take this 400 and it goes to the right, and then divide by 2, yeah, then p squared plus 10p minus 200, and now p equal to blah 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 10. Okay, the other one is negative, so 10. Quantity, well, it's not necessary if we will see, but if we want to find, it's very easy, it's 20. Yeah, from here or from here, 400 divided by 20 is 20. So let's see the elasticities at the equilibrium. The price elasticity of demand is this derivative. Oh, I forgot a d here, sorry. The derivative of q with respect to p, right? We need a d here, yeah, times p divided by q. So the derivative is minus 400 divided by p plus 10. The square, okay, is the derivative of this function times p divided by q. You may leave it as q, it's easier in fact, but well, I want to remind you that if I am asked by the price elasticity of demand function, I should leave as a function of p. Okay, then if I simplify 400 this square with this p plus 10, the elasticity function is this one. Now with p equal to 10, we have minus 10 divided by 20, so minus 1/2, or in absolute value 1/2. The derivative of the quantity supplied with respect to p is just 2, and the price elasticity of supply then is p divided by 2p, so at the end 1. It's just 1. Well, it's very logical. We don't. I am not talking. I will not explain now why this depends on P and this doesn't depend on P in this exercise, but this is correct. So the price elasticity of supply at that point and at any, in fact, is 1. So it's more inelastic the demand than the supply. So the consumers will bear more this tax, okay? Who bears more the tax incidence? Consumers, okay? Well, in some universities this is seen at the first course, okay? So even if we are not used to do this, you should know how to do it, okay? 34th, if the government imposes a minimum price above the equilibrium price, the consumers will be worse off the producers. Okay, let's make a graph, yeah? Well, I made one similar one before. So the consumers will be worse off, of course. The producers will be better off, but no, the producers, be careful, they are not better off for sure. Okay, the possible answers are different from exercise before we did, but at the end it's the same. Okay, so be careful. A is not true because the producers will not be better off for sure. The consumers will be worse off. Yes, the producers will be better off. No. The consumers will be worse off. You see, the producers could be better off. Yes, it could be better off and worse off. And there is a positive that will lose, of course. This is true. The consumers could be better off. No, the consumers are worse off for sure. So clearly, I think the correct one is C. Okay, perfect. Now 35th, in a small country the domestic supply for chicken meat is Q equal to 4p, while the demand is Q equal to 80 minus p. If the country is open to trade but imposes a tariff that increases the world price by 50%, currently at 8, there will be no imports, the imports will be reduced by 50, etc. Well, as one possibility here is that there will be no import, we should calculate the autarky equilibrium, yeah? So Q equal to 4p, Q equal to 80 minus p, autarky equilibrium is at the end 16, price 16, because this p goes to the right hand side, is 5p, so p equal to 16. Then as price is 16, the world price currently at 8, if it increases a 50%, the tariff is at the end of 4 monetary units, yeah, and the price after the tariff will be 12, yeah, 8 plus 8, 50%, so 12. Well, so there will be no imports. No, that's false. There will be import, yeah, because the tariff is not prohibitive. Okay, the tariff is not prohibitive. The imports will reduce by 50%. Well, we should make the accounts here. Yeah? So let's see. At free trade, 80 minus p is 72. 4 times 8, the supply for p, yeah, is 32. So import with free trade at R40, yeah. With such a tariff of 50% of the current world price, so a tariff of 4, the new price is 12, sorry, and if we calculate the import, we find that the quantity demanded at this new price is 68, the quantity supplied at this new price is 48, so imports are 20. So the imports are reduced by 50%. Yeah. So B is the correct answer. Yeah. Well, 36th. Which of the following policies couldn't reduce the quantity sold? Well, a price selling, of course, it may reduce it. A production quota, yes, it may reduce if it's binding. A pay in action, of course, that's its goal. In fact, a subsidy, well, so the correct one is a subsidy. A subsidy increases the quantity exchanged, for sure. I think this is very, very easy if you read it carefully. 37th. Which of the following policies couldn't increase the market price? The production quota increases the market price with a typical decrease in demand. And a per unit subsidy, be careful, it increases the price. Yeah, we have here the production quota. The government says that it can't be consumed more than this quantity, so the price of the good increases. The per unit subsidy, for example, here on producers, will make consumers pay less, but the producers earn more. Yeah, maybe so the shops, the price is higher than before. Yeah, maybe consumers receive then the government subsidy, and the commodity becomes cheaper. Yeah, for them, but in shops the price has risen. Percentage tax, of course increases the price. So the correct answer is none of the above. A percentage tax is a term of the, for example, if it's put in place to consumers, is a term of the demand. Okay, it's not a parallel shift. Okay. Now, 38. Diana is the responsible for her country's economic policy. After paying special attention to the mattress market, where domestic demand and supply are given by Q equal to 18 minus 2p and Q equal to 6p, respectively, she thinks that it's very important to protect it against foreign suppliers, but without worsening the consumers. What policy mix should she put in place? Okay, we want to protect the domestic suppliers, so firms, okay, and we don't want to the consumers to be worse off. So an import quota combined with a tariff. Well, an import quota combined with a tariff. Well, I don't know which is the gain for consumers. Okay, so this can't be true. Okay. Zero import quota combined with a subsidy on consumers, of course. Be careful, maybe this is true, but of course this zero import quota leaves producers as in autarky. Yeah, and a subsidy on consumers may make them be as well as before. Okay, as well as before. So well, this could be the correct answer. Well, a prohibitive tariff combined with a subsidy on producers, well, the same. A prohibitive tariff would increase the price until autarky, yeah. And then if we subsidy producers, the supply will move to the right and maybe achieve the same quality demanded, so sold for consumers. Okay, so we would mark B and C. Don't take care to the graphs. Okay, just think about this. Think about this policy mix. Maybe this is not an easy question, but think about the policy mix in real life, and you will see that it's easier to understand maybe that than with these graphs. Okay. 39th. Please order the following policies from the least to the most efficient one, where the sign C means C is more efficient than D. A binding but not zero import quota. A binding but not prohibitive tariff. Autarky and free trade. Okay, we should know that autarky is the more inefficient, so the less efficient. Then free trade is the most efficient one, so it could be C and D, yeah, C and D. Well, a binding but not zero import quota, a binding but not prohibitive tariff. Well, remind that well, if we want to achieve the same graph but with a little difference of the deadweight loss, no, of the government revenue, okay, we should answer that the tariff is more efficient because the government earns some money. Yeah, we know that import quota the deadweight loss is higher, so the correct one is C. But I should have said here that both policies, tariff or import quotas, should achieve the same import and the same price after those policies. Okay, I should have said that. Okay, if you didn't understand properly the answer or the question, here you have, yeah, the autarky deadweight loss is all these. In free trade we don't have any deadweight loss comparing with these policies because it's the most efficient situation. And import quota we have all this deadweight loss, and in tariff we have these small triangles. Okay, well, so again, this is the most efficient one, then the tariff, then the import quota, and the least efficient is autarky. Okay, as I told you, this is considering that we find the same import here and here and the same price here and here. Okay, now Pablo, you hear that in a certain market it currently exists an import quota of 20 and you want to exchange it for a tariff that allows the consumers and producers to remain equal. This is what I was telling you in the previous exercise. Okay, if the demand and supply curves are given by these two functions and the world price is 15, what should the tariff be? Okay, let's see. In free trade, the sorry, I think here I have a mistake. Yeah, here I have a mistake. Well, let's do it then by what? In free trade, we equalize 100 minus 2p to q equal to 2p, then 100 will be 4p, then p 25. This is the free trade, sorry, autarky. Yeah. Number 40. Pablo, you hear that in a certain market it currently exists an import quota of 20. And you want to exchange it for a tariff that allows the consumers and producers to remain equal. This is what I wanted to tell you in the previous exercise. Yeah? If the demand and supply curves are given by Q equal to 100 minus 2p and Q equal to 2p, and the world price is 15, what should that tariff be? Okay, let's calculate the situation with the import quota. Okay, the import quota is 20, so the quantity imported will be 20. Is the difference between the demand at a certain price and the supply of domestic producers at a certain price. So 100 minus 2p minus 2p is 100 minus 4p, 4p to the left, 20 to the right, then p is equal to 20. So with this import quota, the price currently is 20. It's 5 monetary units higher than the world price, so the tariff should be 5. Okay, the tariff should be 5, and then the government would achieve the same situation for consumers and producers. But we know in this case with the government revenue and with a lower deadweight loss than in import quota. Okay, so the last one. This is an exam question. The domestic demand for portable radios is given by the function Q equal to 5000 minus 100p, where Q is the number of radios that would be purchased when the price is P. The domestic supply schedule for radios is given by Q equal to 150p, whereby Q is the quantity of radios that would be domestically produced if the price is P. Suppose that radios can be obtained in the world market at a price of 10 per radio. Domestic radio producers have successfully lobbied the government to impose a tariff of 5 euros per radio. What's the revenue for the government from the tariff? What's the deadweight loss from the tariff? Okay, then we should calculate the free trade situation. Okay, then the demand at price 10, the world market is, the world price is 4,000. The supply of domestic producers is 1,500, so imports are 2,500. Okay, this will happen at free trade. With the tariff of 5, the price is 15, so the demand falls to 3,500, the supply increases to 2,250, so the imports are 1,250. Yeah, we subtract 3,500, sorry, by 2,250. So these are current imports with the tariff. Then the revenue, well, the revenue for the government is very easy. We have or tariff income, we could call it, is the import 1,250, this length here, times the height is 5, so 6,250 euros. Okay, this is the tariff income. And the deadweight loss, we know that with the tariff, the deadweight loss is the sum of these triangles. So here the left triangle is this difference, 750 times 5 divided by 2, that is 1,875, and the other triangle is 500 times 5, yeah, is the subtraction here, divided by 2. So at the end, 1,150 25. This must be for another exercise, don't pay attention to it, I'm sorry. So the correct answer is this one. Okay, well, I hope you'll enjoyed this, and you'll learn as much as you can. Okay, we will see at test number 4. Thank you very much.